Okay, so the second phase we had, it was the test planning. What we are going to do for this one, okay? So what I'm going to do is like, under the SDLC, whatever topics or the documents are required from your side or the whatever activity is required from your side, I'm going to mention each and every phases so that you will even remember that, like, in which phase what you are going to do. Like suppose that during the test planning phase, okay, you are going to create the test plan. We call as a create test plan. Even during this time, you have to provide the test strategy and then test plan. All the three. Okay. Now I will come one by one. What you're going to do to create the test plan? Okay. So until the time you are going to create the test plan, what you have the PRD and you have the FRD. I had mentioned that for the test cases you are going to refer the FRD, but for the test plan actually you are going to refer the BRD and FRD both. Why? Because you are going to mention that what is the business requirement there and what is the original plan that was mentioned from the business team when they want that application to be ready for them. Okay, that's why we are going to refer this both. Okay, now what is the test plan? Okay, test plan is nothing but actually we have three things here. What we are going to test, okay, then how we are going to test, and when. So if you understand the three things there, what we are going to test, how we are going to test, and when we are going to test, there will be some other things required to support these topics only, but you would be able to explain the, like, kind of the test plan content. So suppose if someone is asking what are the content you are going to cover to create the test plan, you would be able to explain it. Okay. So in that, what you are going to put, now I'm putting the content out of this test plan. Can everybody go on mute? I think we have some disturbance. Okay. Still I have some disturbance. Is this from me or someone else? Okay. So the test document, okay?
Sorry.
We are
How
going
can you
to
put on mute? Sorry. How can you put on mute? I'm trying to, I cannot.
Okay.
Under which?
Yeah, mention your name also. Let me see.
On the screen near the phone hand cattle is another mic over there on the screen.
Okay. I just see the audio preferences.
No. On the screen they have a chatting.
It's here also. Mute mode. Okay.
I cannot see. I'm sorry.
There's a mic on the
Can you mention your name?
Khadija Wahab.
Okay. It is good now. I will put others also on mute if we have any disturbance there.
I'm still not on mute, so.
Oh, is it?
I'm Khadija Wahab, so I still not.
Okay, maybe you can mute on your phone if you have attended some phone.
Okay, I'll mute.
From here, Yeah, from here I think okay, we'll come back here. Okay, so under just remember these three things, okay, and then it will be easy for you to explain whatever the contents you have on the test plan. So like suppose whatever the reference you have, okay, how you are going to create, like you are going to mention that BRD and FRD. Whatever the business impact you have, you are going to mention there. So you are going to just mention the reference section. You are going to list down the BRD name what you received. Might be suppose if you have BRD name as a like project name, under that like under the underscore BRD underscore version 0.1. That exact name what you receive from the business you are going to mention on this document, and then FRD also, because these two documents you are going to refer to create this document. Okay. And then, okay. The number 2. You are going to mention that what was the previous functionality. Like suppose there is an application that's already there into the market and you are going to enhance it. Like, there is an existing functionality out of that. Or might be they already had their small application and they're trying to build a new application with combining all the functionalities like that. So you can say what was the previous stage or the functionality. Okay. I can say stage also here. And then what will be the future state out of that? Okay. And then the reference, and then we are going to refer the BRD section, the business impact out of that. Okay. And then the functional requirement. Okay. Under the same, like what we are going to test. Now for us, now you have mentioned what was the previous stage of the application, what is the future stage of that. Like once the project is complete, what we are going to see on the application. And the reference is the BRD and FRD both. And you are going to mention what will be the business impact for that. Okay. But now what is in scope for you, you are going to mention here. So it is in scope and out of scope for you. Okay. So far it is clear. Any doubt on this one? Like 4 topics.
Yeah, I have
yeah.
I'm not quite understand that number 2 actually. What was the previous state? Yeah, could you repeat one more time? Then I can clarify, please.
Okay. So suppose if it is a kind of enhancement project, or even if you have a new project, okay. If you refer during this time, I had mentioned that you are going to refer the BRD and FRD both. If you see the business, why the application, the business is asking to build that application, they will say, okay, I have these many users, might be the values we are putting, that is manual, taking time, that is our current stage. Okay. Anything might be that was manual, or anything like, they are still, that's automated, but they need something more. So they will say, this is my current phase or current functionality we have, and this will be the future phase or the future stage out of that. That is also you're going to mention. Or suppose if you have a new requirement, that time also you are going to say that the current stage is like, client doesn't have this at all, and then the future stage is like, something you are going to, after the application is built, you are going to you can say the client is going to get enabled for these things, where they will get these benefits and this the revenue increase or whatever it is, like that.
Can you explain with an example?
Example, there could be many actually. Okay. So suppose I'm just giving the example of my current one. Okay. So suppose I'm just saying, you can say the previous stage as a the current stage. That will be more accurate for you. So suppose the current stage is, okay, suppose data loaded only from US into traditional database, okay? But in future, suppose if they are implementing the big data there, the future stage of that, what they are planning is data load from around the world into big data that will enable client, okay, to do the analysis on worldwide user, like that. Hope you're clear now.
Thank you.
Can you please go through point number 4, in scope and out of scope, please?
Yeah, I'm going to explain that, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So whatever you have in scope, like suppose if you are testing your Gmail, okay? Whatever functionality you have there, you are going to test it. The functional things there, okay? I'm just saying Gmail, and then I'm just saying, wait. In scope, we are saying functional, okay? Whatever requirement we receive as a functional requirement on the FRD, that is all we have in scope. And then you had seen many of us they are referring not the FRD, but they have the system requirement specification also. Okay, so if I call as a out of scope, most of the time, okay, smartly we mention that whatever not mentioned in scope section will be out of scope for our team, like that, okay? At the same time, out of scope, you can mention performance testing, okay?
Okay, what we understood that in scope function means whatever is mentioned in FRD, it has
correct.
In scope is whatever is mentioned in FRD, we'll consider it in scope, and what is not mentioned in FRD, it would be considered as out of scope.
Yeah, so that's what I was telling you. Sometimes you get the system requirement specification also, SRS, okay? In that case, you need to filter it out. In the sense, whatever the kind of application functionality is there, you're going to mention, and then you will see I can test it. I just need to go to this level and then do this testing. I can do it. But they will say, okay, for this actually, we need this level of performance, we need this server, we need this much of security, like that. Out of this, you are going to filter those out and say that these are out of scope for us. And remember that the test plan we are going to create, it is actually an agreement between the QA and development and then business team. Moreover, it's the business team. You are going to get the approval from the development and business team. Before even getting the approval, you are going to walk through this document in front of the development and business, tell them I'm going to test only these functionalities, I'm not going to test other than this one. And get their approval also that they are okay. Might be they will question, oh, we are expecting the performance testing also. You can say that is not part of our testing. Might be you can contact the performance team separately for that. Okay. Okay. Now you understood that if you see here, okay, this is most of the time like there will be some other section, but if you see especially the 1, 2, 3, 4, this is something like we have what we are going to test. Okay. Now I'm coming to some section for the how we are going to test it. Okay. So that will be testing approach. Okay. Test strategy, test tool, resources, trainings, everything. There will be some other, but so it is the test plan. When I'm saying this, actually the document will be a standard document within the organization. It is not something you are going to write everything there. There will be a specific section. You just need to see. Most of the time, you just need to mention the in-scope and out-of-scope, the approach, the test strategy, the tool, whatever you have, or the resources and training. Like suppose if you are working for any of the implementation partner and you have a client, they already had that agreement between the two. Like suppose what kind of strategy we are going to use, okay? And then what tool we are going to use, either we are going to do it like manually or doing the automation, what resources we have, either they have the trained resources, or we are going to have the graduate resources like that. And then what kind of training is needed and how we are going to handle it, everything we are going to mention in the test plan actually. But those will be already there in the test plan. But if interviewer is asking what are the contents you have on the test plan, you just mention I think we have a big list, but you can just mention any of the 8 to 10 sections there. They will be okay on that. They will not ask something specific they are going to ask. Might be then you can say if they will say either the test strategy is part of the test plan or not, you can say yes. Okay. Okay. Now I'm coming to when we are going to test. Okay. It is entry and exit criteria for this one. Deliverables. There are many actually. There are many things, and then there will be something also apart from these events, there will be some whatever the assumptions we are going to put. Okay, whatever the risk we have seen into the system, risk. Okay, from whom we need the approvals like that. Okay, so there are many. You can just mention 8 to 10. They will be good. For each and every section, I will come back again. Okay. So test approach is something there are many things actually that we'll discuss one by one. Here we'll mention whatever we have mentioned here. We will discuss that. So test approach is, we have two things here. If someone is asking what is the testing approach, you have two things here. One is the bottom up, and second one is the top to bottom. Suppose if you have 2 modules or the multiple modules, if you are starting the testing from the very smaller one going to the bigger one, it will be bottom to up. And then if you are like testing the overall module first and then just going to the very smallest level of that, it will be top to bottom. Okay. Test strategy is like, it will cover everything for you, how we are going to test it. Like suppose if you have application where you are thinking there will be some manual testing required, there will be kind of like, automation required or whatever it is. Okay. How you are going to test it, everything you are going to mention into here. How we are going to test. Each and every functionalities you are going to divide into small parts and tell everybody that we are going to test this part as like this and this part like this. Whatever test tool you are going to use, like ALM, okay, like any tool, if suppose if you are using Jira, like suppose if you have development, you are going to use the SQL developer like that. Okay, whatever tool or the testing tool you can say, both. Everything you're going to mention here. The resources that you are just going to mention as like, whatever resources you have, whatever trainings required, might be trainings required for the ALM or the SQL training required or the Jira training required or the manual process required, everything you're going to mention on the trainings, okay? The entry and exit criteria. This is very frequently asked question, so you can say this is very, very important section for you. This is also important, the test approach, test strategy, and then you can come up to the entry and exit criteria, okay? This entry and exit criteria is something like, when we are going to perform any activity and when we are going to stop it. There will be some dependency and there will be some criteria to like, say that we are done or we are closing now. That's where we are closing, it is exit, and then when you are entering to that, it is entry point. Okay. So now if you go by the word entry and exit criteria, it is nothing but actually going to each and every phases. Like suppose what we are discussing now here, the second phase of this one, okay, of the STLC. So phases, it means that the STLC. I can say the requirement analysis will be our first step for the STLC, where the entry criteria is like, once you start getting the information from the business, the kickoff meetings and everything, that is entry criteria for you to start the requirement analysis, okay? Once your RTM is done, once the requirement, like, if suppose if you have any gap or something that is done, everything is covered as a part of requirement analysis, you are done there. You can say that is my exit criteria for the, like, the kind of step one for the requirement analysis. Actually, the exit criteria of the phase one, or like, the step one into the STLC, that will be the entry criteria for the step two. It will be go one by one. So once you are done with your requirement analysis, you close that phase, then only you will come to the test plan. Okay. So that will be entry criteria for you to enter here. Okay. You will understand it better, like, in other phases when we discuss, like, when we are, like, suppose the test design. So test design, it means like, if you are entering to the test design phase, your test planning should be done, your estimation should be done, you have already defined the test strategy, you already did your requirement analysis and everything. All the things, when you complete it, then only you can start the test design. That will be entry criteria for you. And whenever you are completing all the test cases design, that will be exit criteria for you. That you are going to mention everything. For sometimes, like, you need to mention all the entry criteria, exit criteria here, or sometimes you just need to mention, like, the test execution only. When you are going to complete your saying, like, your test execution is complete, because that is very critical. And when you are going to start the test execution. So like suppose there will be some dependency on why that is critical, because there are some dependencies also from your side and from other side also. I will mention that one by one. From your side, your documentation should be like the test design should be ready with you. Okay. Your environment setup, like your test case upload and everything, you are done with that. Okay. At the same time, suppose if you have the different environment team, they already built the environment for QA to start the testing. At the same time, the development is there already, like the development is completed, and then they already migrated the code to the Q environment. That all these criteria will be entry criteria for the test execution. The exit criteria for the test execution will be when you completed all the cycles plan that we mentioned, like, we had big discussion on Sunday. Whatever you have planned for the like cycles, like suppose if you have 100 functionalities fail, again you're going for the second cycle. So once that is done, once the regression testing is done, and then you don't have any defect open, and whatever test cases you had planned, if you are done, that is for exit criteria for you for the test execution phase actually. So for each and every phase, there will be entry and exit criteria that you are going to mention on the test plan. So deliverables we have actually.
I have a question here.
Yeah.
Is we have to be mention a date, or we have to just define this is our in a written?
Define the activity. Define the activity.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Like you can say one-liner. Regression testing is the entry criteria. The regression testing is completed. All the defects are closed. Okay. That, and then there is no test cases in the no run. Okay. And then that is the exit criteria. Okay.
Thank you.
I think we have some difference. Okay. Please go on mute here. Okay. Now, these two things, deliverables and then test schedule, bit related, but we are going to mention that into different table actually. Okay. Like the deliverables you have, you are going to create the RTM and you are going to report the ambiguities. That is one deliverable for you. Okay. The second one is test plan itself, this one for you. These things you are going to send to everybody to get the approval on that. Okay. Your test cases. Okay. Then there will be, suppose, like, if you have test cases, the test execution, so daily you can say test execution report that you are going to send to everybody. Okay. And then you are going to provide some time, like, the defect reports, whatever you are sending, and then providing everybody to understand your status and, like, and like, whatever plan you have. Again, the same thing, what you are going to do and how you are going to do and when you are going to do. So you have to perform, like, putting the everyday status also when you start the test execution. Putting that we have 100 test cases planned. So far we completed 20 test cases. We still have 80 test cases pending. And then we have these many days remaining. So as per our plan, we are on track, like that. Okay. And then this test plan also, once it is done, you are going to deliver this to the business team and the development team and get the sign off. Test cases also you are going to go through with them and then tell them what you are going to test, like how you are going to test. The defect report also, suppose if you have a big list, like 100 defects there, and then you are waiting for development to fix it, you are going to send the defect reports also to everybody to understand, like, we have these many issues pending and we are waiting the fix from the development team also.
I have a question here.
Yeah.
You said about the deliverables, RTM and ambiguity test plan. These are when we do it after the testing, or we just when writing our test plan?
That's all. So again, I'm coming here. Just remember that always remember. Yeah, no problem. That's a good question actually. But just remember, when I was telling this in the starting, always remember each and every phases of the. Sorry, I have some difference actually. Can you go on mute? Please go on mute so that we'll continue. Okay. So please remember each and every phases of the STLC. Like the phase one, like, the step one or the phase one we have, there's a requirement analysis. Outcome of that is the requirement traceability matrix. Once you are done with your requirement analysis, your requirement traceability matrix should be completed. That is the deliverables after the requirement analysis is complete. The second one is the test planning. Under that, you are going to create the test plan and deliver that to business and development team, test strategy also, and test estimation also. These three deliverables you are going to provide during the test planning. Okay. So each and every deliverable, if you have a test cases, this will be come under the test design phase. The daily status report, this will come during the test execution time. Defect report also.
Okay, that's the question here. That I'm a little confused with that. When we don't test anything and we don't write a test cases, how come we have a?
Yeah, that's the planning.
That's the planning. Okay, all right.
That's the planning. Yeah, that's the planning, right? So you are going to mention everything from start to end. Even you are it is something done for you. You are going to mention everything on your plan. What you are going to test, how you are going to test, and when you are going to test it. Even if you go to the next test deliverables, we are going to mention all the dates, like the RTM, like okay, I will complete this and then we'll come to here test schedule,
all right,
and then we'll be done for the day, and then we'll continue next day. Okay, so that defect reporting, okay, test metrics also. This is also a deliverable for you. And then test closure. Okay. There will be a test closure report also that will have the test summary, what you tested of, like, during that test execution and everything. Okay. That will be also a deliverable for you. Okay. This test schedule actually, okay, it will be, you can say whatever deliverables you have, it will tell you start date and end date. Everything. That's your test schedules. Hope I'm clear now. So far we can say, like, we discussed, so far we discussed the 13, it is 12. So for everybody, actually the test plan will differ in, like, each and every organization. Each and every organization, they have a different test plan, similar to others, but they have, based on, like, their requirement or their business needs, they have defined their field and they have defined their process. Most of the time you will get this standard document. Like, suppose if you are entering into the IT industry and then someone is asking you to create a test plan, never say that I'm going to take a Word document and, like, write all this. No, just ask them, can you provide me the master test plan sample? First question. They will do it. You are just going to replace these things. Okay, like the business impact, what is the current stage based on the BRD, the future stage based on the BRD and FRD again, and then what is in scope for you. Okay, all the functionalities you have to mention here, whatever you're going to test. The outer scope section might be, you can just, like, do like this one only. That's also fine. This will be this, and most of the time this will always be there with the test plan, whatever template you receive. Resource also should be already there, like, because you have an agreement, your company has an agreement with the client, what kind of resources they're going to have, and trainings also. Okay, entry criteria you have to define now. That sometime it will be already there. If it is not there, then you have to define based on your all the phases when you are going to say start and when you are going to say stop. It is start and stop. Okay, and deliverables also you are going to mention each and every deliverables here, and then sometime it will be there. They will be there, like, listed there. Okay, and then when you come to the test schedule, these deliverables already will there, like, in the table, but you have to provide the start date and end date. Make sure all these dates are getting, like, in sync with the FRD and BRD. Like, suppose if they are saying it is a 1 year of project and we want everything during the 1 year, like 31st of December, Before that, there will be a period of the production deployment. Before that, there will be a UAT testing. Even before UAT, there will be some kind of performance testing also. Now you have to finish everything before this UAT testing. You can say UAT testing or the performance testing. Okay, so your date, like the test closure date you are putting there, should not exceed that date. You have to now plan everything and then say, I will start on this date, and then you will get that information also on the BRD, that they will put their plan saying that we are going to provide this BRD signed off on this date and then FRD signed off on this date. You will get that information there. And now you have to you have to properly plan on each and every activity for you. So this will be called as a test plan. Let me know if you have any question. We'll discuss in detail of the test strategy and then test estimation again in the next class, and then we'll continue this STLC. STLC will go each and every phases, and then so I hope it's suppose if you are done with the STLC, it will cover all the software testing topics. There will be some tools and everything will be pending that will cover after the STLC. So remember that if you are just thinking what to learn on the STLC, like suppose if you are for the software testing, if you are Googling it, just go through the SDLC, okay, and then STLC. If you have a good understanding of these two, you will get all the doubts clear. Okay, there's nothing beyond that you can say software testing. Okay.
You mean to say to understand the entire testing this course, we need to understand the SDLC and STLC.
Correct.
Okay. One request, Said sir, is that as you know that most of us are from non-technical background as such. Okay.
Yeah.
And you are, no doubt you are teaching us in a very layman language, and we are understanding everything very nicely. But a small request, if you can put some more example in your explanation, this will help us a lot to understand and to grab it for long. So what happens, the matter is too much. So most of the time what happens, we forget. For instance, the last time you explained something with an example, it helps a lot to understand the same.
Okay. I will try to be more very kind of at the example level.
Yeah, because
there is one suggestion. Suppose before coming to class, as you told us, if we go Google it to the STLC and some other stuff, I think we will have a better idea like that, understanding. If we have off days.
But you will get confused also, because now you will relate. I was telling you, so suppose if I am explaining the test plan here, okay, you can go and then refer any of the content on the online. But whatever I'm explaining, actually that is the real test plan available into the market. But if you just Google it, you will get something different. Okay, let's see.
No, don't go
No.
Whatever you said,
I'm just saying.
Then we can go do that. Just whatever you told us, just to try to. There are so many examples in the.
So
Google.
to avoid the confusion, you can say I'm doing it. But if needed,
that is the reason. Yeah, that is the reason I'm saying. If you just explain us with your own live example, then I know we will be able to understand this much better.
Okay, fine.
And I have another request for that too. Whatever you write it down on a notepad, can we get the copy of that? Then we can remember for the next class or something. Because when you ask me the question, we at least have some kind of a hard copy or something.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll do that. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything? Any doubt or anything you have?
I have a question here. Actually, I think it's related or not related. You said we have to planning for the test planning for the whole application or whatever, and then you said we have to make a approval from the business and the developer. How? Yeah, you said we in a bottom you said we have to be test cases, we have to show them. So how that's the thing I'm wondering, if I don't have this test plan is become a, when we write a test plan, because test plan is going to be whole, everything is in it, I understand that, but you say about the test cases we have to go with the business and the developer. When we don't have anything on our hand, how come we make a test cases and those things? We just planning, okay, but we can just write it down on a paper, but we don't have, I believe, we don't show the test cases at the time when we making a test plan. I'm a little confused with that actually.
Yeah. So you can say, like suppose you are like, you know, a kind of like, you know, any a kind of vendor for any of the client. Suppose any example you can take. Okay, any example you can take. Suppose I'm just putting that one example that's weird, but I'm going to put it. Suppose if you are like, you know, kind of what do you call? You have a catering business. Okay. Now, in the starting, you are going to tell your client that we will come here in the morning at this time. We are going to cook these things, and this will be our charge. Okay. I have the expert on this one. I already did this one. Okay. How, without any test, how they are going to trust you and then hire you for that? They don't have that. Whatever you are saying, like, you know, I'm going to cook, like, you know, kind of some dish. Okay. They don't have the dish still, but based on your commitment that you are going to do in the test planning, you are going to mention that, yeah, because for each and every software testing project, you are going to get through the STLC, software testing life cycle, and then during the test design phase, you are going to have the test cases. That's for sure. Without test cases, you cannot do anything. So you are going to mention with on the deliverable side, yeah, we are going to deliver the test case. Now, in the test schedule also, you are going to mention that we are going to just deliver you the test cases. We are going to start writing the test cases on this date. We are going to end up on this date. And on this date, I would be ready to give you the walkthrough on this test case that you have to put on your test plan. This is a one document test plan where you just need going to imagine everything, or like, you know, based on your assumptions, or like, you know, based on your experience, because you know you need to understand whatever the flows we have to complete your project. Then only you can say, and then during the test execution, even you are going to tell, I'm going to send you the daily execution report that will look like this, where I'm going to put the number of test cases, that the total number of test cases for the project, whatever we had planned for the day, and then whatever we executed, how many we passed test cases and how many failed, how many defects we raised, like that. This is something you have not started, but still you are going to make those templates, those plans, those dates, everything together and put into the test plan at the first time when you are going to, like, you know, plan the project.
Okay, now
There's
I
nothing.
understand that.
It is,
okay,
yeah,
that's just all assumption.
All assumptions, yeah.
Okay.
It's all planning. That's what.
It's a planning. Okay.
They will also. So when I had mentioned that, like, you know, the day one, the requirement we are going to get from the business, actually, they are actually, we call as a business or the client wishes. Okay. They want something to be done. They are even not sure whether they can do it or not. They will contact the business analyst. Business analyst will have the idea on the business side and then technical side both. He will see whatever feasible using the current technologies in the market, if he can do it. Then he will involve the project management also. The project manager is something from the development team. They will listen the requirement from the business and say, like, you know, we can do this much and we cannot do this one, like that. There will be a lot of discussion on that. And then everything they will put on the plan, on the BRD and FRD. See, nothing is built, nothing is available, but the first time the business is going to ask for something, and then business analyst is going to write everything from the client on the BRD, and then technical team is going to write the FRD based on the BRD they receive, based on the discussion also, they will put everything. They will say on this date we will go live. Okay. Now they are saying on this date. Now it will come to you. So suppose if you saw, oh my God, I have a lot of things to do. We are just 2 resources. Then you are going to put the assumption that to complete this project, I need 10 resources. Put everything on the test plan because you have to do a lot of mathematics there, calculations, dates, and everything there.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Very good clarification. Thank you.
Any other question? So other than that, whatever we have pending, we'll discuss on the next day. Okay. So I would request others, there are some candidates they attend this class just today. They missed 3 previous classes. Okay. I'm just thinking to cover those 3 in between when we are going for the next class. Like Thursday we have, but might be until the weekend, the coming weekend, we'll cover for them whatever they missed, and then so that everybody will be on the same page and same track. Just send me a note if you miss any of the classes, so that even I can invite you for those sessions. Okay. No more questions now? Okay. Then we are good. We can close this call and then we'll connect again on Thursday. I will send the invite. So it is like, plan on Tuesday and Thursday. In any case, any emergency, if we are canceling, we'll send the cancellation before our class or something. But don't assume that even if you don't get Thursday noon also, no communication, still assume that we have a class on the Thursday evening. Okay. I hope I'm clear now. Okay. Okay, we'll connect again on Thursday. Have a good night.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmed.